Welcome to video 3. And again, I just need to remind you that change happens when the body begins to mind. And in this video series, we're looking at the relationship between the body supporting change in the mind, and the body being the representation of that change as we move powerfully through the world, as we change behaviors, as we embrace bigger opportunities. So in this video, I'm going to talk about our beautiful shoulders and arms and how they are this magnificent expression of energy that comes up through our center for an outpouring. It can be in the way that we actually greet one another, the way that we meet the world, the way that we extend out, the way that we receive others. The beautiful expression of these magnificent arms that sometimes we take for granted. It could be in the stroke of a pen. It could be doing a piece with an artist's brush. It could be a gentle wave. It could be a calling to invite someone to come closer into your world. The magnificence of how our mind is portrayed through our movement of these beautiful arms and shoulders. Now, what happens to prevent us from actually experience the full capacity of that energy that wishes to be expressed out through the arms? What happens when our arms become quiet? I remember when I was a kid at school, and when I wasn't meeting the requirements of the educators, they would become frustrated, and instead of finding new ways to teach me, they resorted to actually using two things. And one approach was shaming. You have to stand out at the back of the class, and the other was punishment. So you had to put your hand out, and they got a cane and they whacked your hand and whacked your hand and whacked your hand until it was agony. And you learned quickly not to put your hands out into the world because it was painful. So that alone, when we're working with ourselves or working with others, and we're witnessing their reticence and their reluctance to reach out for their goals, to feel safe in the world, well, there may be an underlying reason, an experience that they've had, that they have actually embodied, and that embodiment has affected what's happening in their current mindset. So even though in a coaching scenario, I might be attempting to change their cognition, but the body is not able to support that because the body is still stuck in the trauma of the experience, in my case, of childhood. Now, fortunately enough, I've worked through that, and now my arms are a lot more free, and I'm very thankful that they have become liberated, but they could have remained crushed, and my wings could have remained clipped. So there's many reasons why we don't use the full capacity of our shoulders and arms, and I'm just going to touch on one of these here, is that there's a propensity that when we feel fear and anxiety and stress, we have a tendency to protect our neck. Animals, when they're attacking one another, they'll grip each other by the throat and cut off the blood supply to the brain through the carotid artery. And because we come from the animal kingdom ourselves, that when we feel fear and anxiety, we protect this part of ourselves. So what we do is we take our shoulders and arms out of gravity slightly. I'm going to exaggerate looking like this, but even a slight movement like this will incapacitate the movement of the arms. The arms are meant to hang in the body. So we'll find ourselves holding ourselves together. Life asks us to do that sometimes. Oh, hold yourself together. Pull yourself together. So with that type of urgency, you'll find that your arms don't swing when you walk. And there's less availability for you to actually reach out into the world. And the spin-off effect of that, as I said earlier, but it's worthwhile even exploring that very briefly again, is that you'll find that you develop a mindset that you are unwilling to take a risk, to be able to reach out into the world, to actually reach out into the world and explore the edges that's going to cause you to grow and expand into a greater aspect of who you are and who you've been up until now. It also plays havoc with your ability to hold good boundaries, because you're not able to extend yourself and maintain this beautiful space, which is you, and to be able to let people know clearly in an embodied way that's supported by your mind and your expression, that this is where they end and you begin. And you'll notice that a person that's not able to have the full propensity and usage of their arms and shoulders, there's often a sense of absence of boundaries about them. So again, what I am sharing with you in these 7 videos is to be able to take a broader view of how change takes place in the mind. And change that's in the mind, that's supported by the body, there's a beautiful integration of both. It's like a family coming together. It's like they're reunited because they love one another. It's just that we've been convinced to separate and become divorced. And we'll speak about that a little bit more in the next few videos that we'll be doing. But enjoy your arms. Enjoy the beautiful expression, because this is your heart. And this is the expressions of the heart. Embryologically, what happens when we're developing in the fetus is that the heart develops, and then the arms develop, and they surround the heart for protection. And that is one of the most beautiful aspects of our humanness. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.